Great. Good day and welcome once again to yet another episode of Schoolboy Rugby and once again, Schoolboy Rugby.
Hmm.
As always, joining me in the studio, of course, is our founder, Mr. Louis van Kopenhagen. How are you today, Louis?
Good, and you, Steve. It's good to be here. We are excited of all the matches that are coming up. I think it's going to be interesting. Number one, number two, quite a
Yes,
few interesting games that will happen during the course of this weekend. So I think without any further ado, let's jump right into that.
absolutely. For those of you who haven't know, we've got a new kit on, but we will talk about that later. So let's first go to the coming games and then we will talk about our new uniform later in the episodes, of course.
Right. So in no particular order. So the first one, the Western Cape, Oakdale, Stellenberg. That's going to
Well,
be a
that's going to be
huge
a
game.
huge game. Oh
Okay.
yeah, Oakdale is also in the top 10.
Yeah.
I think they were. When I checked, they were eighth, and of
Yeah.
course, Stellenberg we know is the reigning SA champions at the moment, the number
Yeah.
one team in South Africa.
Yeah.
And Oakdale have proven last year they've beaten one of the Paul boys, the Paul school teams,
Mhm.
and they have given. I think it was last week they've given one of the was it Paul Roos?
Yeah. Ulrus.
Paul Roos. They've given Paul Roos a run for their money.
Yeah.
So Oakdale is gonna be an incredible game. I think that should be one of the games of the weekend, Louis.
I think so too. And as we have dubbed Oakdale as the Giant Slayer of 2025, and this
Yeah,
year it's Stellenberg. So now maybe they are going to fight for the spoils for Giant Slayer number one and number two. We never know.
as long
So
as the game is not a draw, Louis, I'm happy. There must be a winner.
oh dear, if it's going to be a draw, oh dear, that's going to be an interesting one then. So
Yeah, anything
and
is
then
possible.
Rondebosch Sachs, I think that's also going to be a good game.
Oh
Um,
yes,
Bishops Weinberg, also going to be a good game. And then Paul Roos versus Durbanville. I think this is going to be a very highly paced game because from
yeah.
both
Durbanville's
teams,
also in the top 20.
they,
I believe they are ranked 20th, and
yeah,
they're also really one of the competitive schools in South Africa, schoolboy rugby.
yes,
Um, they were at the North and South North side, as we all know. I say it every time, but we had an interview with the coach, and it's incredible work that he's doing there at that school.
oh yes.
And of course, Paul Roos, last year's SA champions.
Mm,
It's going to be an incredible game.
yep. And also the next one, Paul Gim versus Boland Landbou. And I think
Huge.
Boland Landbou is going to bring the game. And that's what I
Oh
think.
yes. Oh yes, Boland Landbou is also one of your top up and coming schools. They are knocking on the door of the top 50.
Hmm.
Definitely, they're not gonna lie down.
Yeah,
I'm hoping for a game where Bullet Landbou is gonna show character, not giving up until the end. And
right.
you never know, if they're in the first half, let's say 10 points behind or 5 points behind, we have a game in hand.
Correct. Oh yes. Yes. And then the next one. This is going to be one of the games that I would really like to watch, right?
Yeah.
Outeniqua and Daniel Pienaar. Um, I think both teams so far this season has really put up their hand for some
Oh yes.
very good rugby.
Yeah, and the thing is, Outeniqua's also been knocking on the top 10. Then they're in the top 10, and then they're just outside the top 10.
Mm,
So Outeniqua is definitely the top school, I will say, in Southwestern District's rugby at this stage. And of course,
yes.
Diopina is one of your top five schools in the Eastern Cape, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
that's
Yeah, in
right.
Graham College and Graham.
Right. Yes. So, and then Harel Falay and DF Academy. That's also going to be an interesting one. Two of your smaller schools battling it out. So I think that's going to be and very interesting game to keep your eye on.
Oh yeah,
Um,
both of them are in the top 100.
yeah.
Absolutely. The next game, Louis, I have to give a mention if I can.
Yes.
Monaghan against Bellville. Now, of course, two of our members are of our subscribers on the YouTube channel goes
Mm,
to Bellville High. I would like to give a shout
wow.
out to Vian and Ivan
Right.
Jansen van Rensburg. And their dad is also a Facebook member, and he's going to help me at the interschools. He's going to be part of the
Right.
crew on the interschools, Dion Jansen van Rensburg.
Yes.
I'm going to go to Cape Town on the 17th of August, 15th, for the interschools day, where Bellville is going to take on the rivals.
Mm.
Please stay tuned because there's more to follow. So I'm looking forward to see what Bellville's going to do against Monaghan.
Yes. And I'm going to be a little bit biased on this one, seeing that we have people on our YouTube from Belleville. So I hope Belleville takes this one. Um,
Yeah, no, I'm also going to be rooting for Bellville. And it's also going to give us a taste to see what rugby we can look forward to on the 15th of August for the
yes,
interschools.
yes, definitely. And then Brackenfell and Worcestershire. I think this is also going to be a cracker of a game.
Yeah,
Both teams are
absolutely.
on the same level, so I think this is going to be a very good game.
Oh yeah, Brackenfell is also not too far from Bellville.
Mm,
The Jansen van Rensburg family actually lives in Brackenfell. So
okay.
I'm also going to look very closely to that game.
And then this is going to be an interesting one. Strand versus Tygerberg, because
Wow.
Strand, their high school in the last 2 weeks have actually produced some very good rugby. And
It's incredible.
yeah, and it seems they really want to play and they really play as a unit. And that is something that made me very happy to see. So I think this is also going to be a very good game.
It's just incredible, Louis, to see the depth in Western Province school rugby.
Yes.
We're not even talking about the depth in South African schoolboy rugby, but right now we're focusing on the Western Cape. It's
Yeah.
absolutely incredible if you look at all these teams.
Yeah.
You know, all these teams are competitive. And we had an interview with Paul Boy's coach, if you can recall. And he said, you know, that when the schools in Western Cape, and I know it for a fact because
Mhm.
I came from a Western Cape school. I played
Yes.
for Transvaal under 15 first team, under 15
Yes.
18. Every single game in the Western Cape is almost like a test match, you know, with the
Mm.
crowds coming up. We
Yes.
don't even have to talk about the Paul game
Oh,
where
Barbie, yeah.
20,000 to 23,000 people pitch up. So every single game is like a test match, competitive. Sometimes you play. I remember I once played a game we played against Ski, and we played in rain. It was pouring down, and
Mm.
we went out just before the first team, the under 15 team, and we played in
Right.
pouring rain. And the spectators didn't run away from the rain. They stood there with the umbrellas, and that place was packed. That is Western Cape rugby for you. It's hard,
Yeah.
muddy, rainy, but the people pitch up and the boys pitch up.
Yeah. And that is also something I really love about the rugby community in Cape Town. Um, as you said, whether it's raining, whether it's snowing, they are not going to move. They are going to watch the game. And that is
Sport fanatics in the Western
exactly
Cape, Louis.
what you need, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's hard. It's raw passion, and a huge shout out to the Western Cape community.
Yes,
Absolutely.
and then Punt, Framesby. I think that's also going to be a very good game, as Framesby has been showing some very good progress and they are actually playing very good rugby. I'm
Oh,
very
yeah.
impressed with them.
There's some incredible schools in the Eastern Cape, and we've spoken a lot about the Eastern Cape schools because they had the Graham's Festival
Yes,
recently at the
yes,
beginning of the season. And they
right.
also had the Great Schools Festival where
Yes,
the teams playing. And of course, Graham College, which we also had an interview with the coach, as we always say, a school of 350 pupils, but yet they are ranked 27th in South Africa.
yeah,
They are not standing back for the best schools in the country,
yeah,
regardless of the size. For me, that is a great testament
yeah.
of
And
of character and spirit. And it's amazing. So yeah, if you look at all these games, Louis, I think the Western Cape community, wherever they're going to go to, are in for a festival of rugby this weekend.
yeah.
Absolute festival.
And then Langenhoven Gymnasium versus Charlie Hofmeyer. I think that's also going to be an interesting game. I doubt if it's going to be a very high scoring game. Um, it seems, from what I have seen on the weather report, it is going to be cold, number one. Number two, they expect a lot of rain in Cape Town
Yeah.
during this weekend. So,
Yeah, no, it's winter town, Louis.
yeah,
What can we say? It's winter
yeah.
town now.
Then Huguenot Drosti, I think that's also going to be a very good game, a very close game, as both teams have showed some very good progress and playing very good rugby at the moment. So, and they are more or less on the same level. So I think this is also going to be a very closely contested game.
Yeah, it's also two top teams in the Bulat area.
Yeah.
So I think we can really look forward. And then, of course, Swartland, the next game, Louis. Swartland was also at the Noordside tournament, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. If I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken, they were also at the Noordside. Um, and I think they were playing on the B field, if I remember correctly. So
yeah. No, I remember Swartland, they were also there. I'll just check the results and the things. If viewers um, can remember, and they say it's no, I'm standing to be corrected. I'm open for correction, but I do know that Swartland was at the I can recall that they were at one of the festivals,
yeah,
and it's definitely a very competitive school in the Boland area.
yeah.
And then Robertson also is also a very classy competitive school in the Boland area. Of course,
Yeah.
all these teams that we are looking here are ranked teams. It's just amazing the incredible depth in South African rugby. We are actually spoiled for choices.
Yeah, no, we are very blessed. Then, all right, so let me just get here. So let's go to the KwaZulu-Natal. So Clifton
Mm.
versus St. Charles. I think this is going to be a cracker of a game because both teams have showed that they want to play. And
Yeah.
both of them play the same style of rugby. They are not scared to throw the ball around. So this is going to be a very good game.
Yeah, if you look at these games in Natal, if you can look at the back, the screen, it's part of the Sharks Rugby Day at Hilton. So I believe it probably will be on the same field. If it's at Hilton, it's probably at Hilton
Yes,
School.
that's
So I
right.
think it's going to be again an entire day of rugby. I actually wish I was at Hilton School that I could actually go and watch. Because if you look at this game, Louis, if I can just go through these
Yeah,
games.
go. The floor is yours.
The second game is KwaZulu-Natal Tier 2 Urban. It's an invitation team against KwaZulu-Natal Tier 2. And then it's Kirsty College against Marco House. Now, we all know Kirsty College, huge. So Waylon Murray, I believe, went to Kirsty College. I'm not sure if he matriculated there, but I believe he went to Kirsty College.
Yeah.
And Waylon Murray, of course, is an old Sharks and even a Springboks center.
Mm.
Michael House, we all know, is a team that has been ranked 11, just outside the top 10. I think even in the lowest side of the top 10, a strong top 10 performance.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a huge game. And of course, Kirsty College, we all know, is a top 50, just outside the top 50 school in South Africa. Northwood versus Westwall. That's going to be a huge game. Westwall ranked 10th in South Africa. Cracker of a game. Hilton, also a top 10 performer in schoolboy rugby against Glenwood.
Yeah.
And then look at the game that's going to finish the day. Maritzburg College against Durban High School. Now that's, I think, is going to be a huge game. Both of
that's going to be mouth-watering, right?
Absolutely. I think Maritzburg College we saw at the Villa Claver tournament. Durban was also there. Both of them were at the Villa Claver tournament. And we all know that the Villa Claver tournament is the best of the best that gets invited in.
Yeah.
So I think we can look forward to some huge rugby this weekend in Natal.
Yeah, definitely.
Then it's the Eastern Cape. Louis, will you run us through the Eastern Cape
Right.
section?
So Dale College versus Selborne. I think that's going to be a cracker of a game. And then Graham College versus Cambridge. Now, I am sure that Graham College will take this one, as Cambridge hasn't had the best of seasons as yet.
Okay.
They've been falling short almost every game. So I'm sure Graham College will pull this one through. Then the next one, St. Andrews versus Marlow. I think that's going to be a good game.
Yeah, that's two top teams in the Eastern Cape.
Yeah. And then Pearson, Nikumolan, that's also going to be a very, very good game because both of these teams have had very good seasons up to now. So,
Yeah.
and then Grey High versus Queens, I think that's going to be a very good game because we know that Queens College, when we were at school, were regularly in the top 20. But somewhere as the years went on, they've fallen off the bus. So, but I think still they are competitive enough to give Grey High a good run for their money.
I saw an interesting thing talking about Grey High School. Grey High School has been now for a long time the number one school in the Eastern Cape, but I believe we've got a new champions in the Eastern Cape rankings, according to one of the rankings, and that is that Graham College has
Yes,
now overtaken Grey High
yes,
School on the
I
rankings.
saw
Graham
that.
College is now the number one team in the Eastern Cape, I believe.
Isn't that amazing?
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. And then Hudson Park, Kingswood, I think to end off the day with this game for Eastern Cape, I think this is going to be a very good game.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah. The Free State section, we've got Jim Fisher up against Daneveld. Now, the interesting part, Grey College, this is going to be, I think, the game of the weekend. Grey College up against Paul Boys High. Grey College, I believe, is third right now in South Africa, just behind, Stellenberg and Paul Roos. We'll check now the latest ranking. And Paul Boys High, when I checked, they were seventh on the rankings. That was last week. So that's going to be a huge game. And of course, Grey College, they come from Free State, but we had an interview with the coach, Bobby Hubert, and he told us that Grey College don't really compete against the other Free State schools in the area because they're too strong. So all of their matches that Grey College play, they play outside of the Free State schools, against the top schools in the country.
Yeah.
So that is very interesting. Of course, the rest of the games, Central versus Diamantveld, these are all Free State schools against the Griquas schools. Three of them from the Griquas are playing against Bev Voortrekker. Welkom Gym is also one of your top schools. They've also been at the North Side. They will take on Witteberg. Jim Fisher is also a well-known school in Free State. They will take on Rebota. Fikak Park against Landboudal. And then, of course, Hentiseleer against Goutveld.
Yes.
I would love to see the Free State schools, besides Grey College, getting stronger and stronger. And Bobby did say to us when we had an interview that there's a lot of growth going on in Free State rugby, and they're also involved in helping those schools. But I would love to see more and more Free State schools become competitive, not just top 100, but top 50, top 40, top 50, and even top 20, so that Free State rugby can become strong again. I would love to see that. So let's keep an eye also on the development and the progress of the Free State schools.
Yeah. And before we carry on, now in the week, they released the Craven Week side for Free State. Yes, the majority, the bulk of the team, both the team and the academy team comes from Grey College, but there were a few from Fichat Spark and Louis Botha. So that is already a plus. More of these schools can be more competitive and try and get more of them into the Craven Week side, where it's almost more of a balanced side, not just one school dominating. I think Free State Craven Week, Free State Rugby, the senior team will be much better.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I always say it's never a good thing if there's one school that's got the monopoly.
Yeah.
I'm always uncomfortable with it. Coming from a background as a top middle distance athlete that was sponsored by New Balance, we always had the situation where a team like Nedbank had the monopoly in South African road running. And it's always good if you can have more competitive clubs, and then, of course, going back to the rugby, more competitive schools coming to challenge the big schools. So that's why, for me, it's such an incredible thing to see the rise of Stellenbosch rugby. It's incredibly healthy where you have a system where every single schoolboy game between the top 20 teams and even between the top 100 teams are competitive. And that's what we want to see. You want to see strength versus strength in all formats of rugby.
And remember when we had the interview with the coach of Graham College, where he said Alistair Coetzee is now involved in Eastern Province rugby and helping the schools from the school structure. And you can already see this is paying dividends because the schools are getting to a level where they are almost all on the same level. So they are all competitive against each other, which is a very good thing. That's number one. And number two, I think if Grey College plus some outside help can get these other schools in the Free State to rise up and be more competitive. I mean, we know Grey College will always have the monopoly, so it doesn't matter. But I think if they say, all right, let's help these schools to be more competitive, because at the end of the day, if you look at the bigger picture, for the Craven Week side and for the senior side, then the people will stay rather going to the other unions.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Now, we're in a professional area of schoolboy rugby. And as much as it's about enjoyment, we have to also look at that fact. But I still would like to encourage that there always has to be a fair sense of enjoyment, because at the end of the day, it's still schoolboy rugby.
Yes.
And that's where you start to play. And I mean, I remember my days as a rugby player, since under 13 days playing for the A team until under 15, and then until even in under 19, when I did not play rugby so seriously anymore because of my athletics career, playing for the 15, 14, and 13, it was just as enjoyable for me as the next time. And that is what schoolboy rugby is all about. It's actually the best rugby of your life.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. And I mean, you and me, we played for the 5th team when we matriculated, and we had such a blast, even though we lost most of our games, but the whole enjoyment, the camaraderie, and the banter between us and the other schools, and later you shake hands, you do each other's war cries, and that to me was more memorable than anything else during that season.
Oh yeah, no, for me that was just as enjoyable as the time that I played for the first teams under 15 and under 13 when I was serious about rugby. And that is the thing about rugby. As much as it is a sport that you want to win at all costs, you have to have the enjoyment. If you don't enjoy playing rugby or sports, why do you play the game? So I would love to encourage all the schoolboys and all the parents, to keep that enjoyment factor, to inspire your children to enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Play to win, but also play to enjoy the game. And let's keep that enjoyment factor in schoolboy rugby where it belongs.
Yeah. Right. Now we come to probably almost like the feature of this weekend.
Yes.
The Noordval Cup. So first up, Monument versus Noordheuwel. I think this is going to be an interesting battle. Really interesting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Monument had a huge victory against EG Janssen, 85-19. So they are absolutely soaring with confidence. So it's going to be a huge game. And Noordheuwel would like to prove that they belong in the cup in the first division of the Noordwal.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a cracker of a game. But I think the next game for me, Louis, Waterkloof, the two Blue Ball provinces team, the two of
Yeah.
your top teams in Northern Transvaal. Waterkloof up against Garsfontein, the defending champions, ranked 5th in South Africa against Waterkloof. I think that's also inside the top 20. That's going to be a huge game. I think that's
Yeah.
going to be the game of the Noordwal Cup this weekend.
Yeah.
And the story of the Noordwal Cup this weekend.
Then Ege Jansen, Rustenburg, I think that's going to be a very good game. I think these two teams are more or less on the same level. So I think that's going to be a very good game.
Oh yeah, Ege Jansen, they suffered a defeat, so they would like to come back with a bang against Rustenburg. Two evenly matched teams. And then Menlo Park against Help Mekaar, also going to be a huge cracker. Both of them were at the Noordside tournament. So I think that's going to also be, and that will be the Noordwal Cup also. I'm just going to quickly run through the Noordwal plate so that we can make time for the rankings also.
Yeah.
Montana up against Nelspruit. That's going to be a top game. Nelspruit, of course, one of your giants in Mpumalanga rugby.
Yeah.
Kempton Park up against Oosmoed. Swartkop is also one of the fairy tale stories of South African schoolboy rugby at the moment. Ranked inside or just outside, hovering it at the top 50. They've really the improvement has been incredible. That's going to be an interesting game. Pietersburg against Marais Viljoen. That will be the third division game, of course. We are now moving into the third division. The plate is, of course, the second division, and then the shield will be the third division.
Yeah.
Ligbron against Ben Foster.
That's going
Alderain. Yeah, Ligbron versus Ben Foster. I agree with you. That's also going to be an interesting game. And then, of course, Alderain was the first team that we went to feature a match. We were present to do our rugby feature of the weekend match when they played against Randburg away. So they will play against Secunda. Pieter Tief will play against Heidelberg. That will be your shield. Now, the next one is the fourth division. Of course, when we spoke last time, we weren't available. When the teams playing in the fourth division wasn't available yet. Now we've got a taste of the teams that's going to be there. Brandwag up against Huguenote in the eastern section. Dynamica against the Anker in the eastern section. Ermelo against Morensky. Morensky is also a very interesting school. Bergsig, and then we come to the western section because remember they are divided in two sections.
Yes.
Bergsig up against Oosgem. Centurion against Jeugland. Now, of course, Jeugland and Centurion schools also teams that needs no introduction. And then Midstream against Sports. So now we've got a taste of where the fourth division teams are at. I would love to know where Randburg High is, where they are competing in the Noordwal Cup, but we will also, of course, have a chat with Barcy and find out where Randburg is at the stage.
So, right. And then here, now these are the other games that are also taking place for this weekend. This is going to be an interesting one. Affies versus Jeppy. As we know, last year, Jeppy gave Affies a good scare, almost won that game. And then the next one, basically almost like neighbors, Parktown versus Kes. I think that's going to be a very good game. That's usually a very traditional rivalry as well. So that's going to be a good one. St. David's versus Pretoria Boys High, two Pretoria schools. Again, that's going to be a good one. Now, this is also going to be a good one. St. Stithians versus St. Albans. Now, St. Albans is from Pretoria, and they've actually had a good season so far. So I'm looking forward to that one. And then CBC St. John's versus St. Andrews. I think that's going to be a good game. I think the two of them are more or less on the same level. So I'm sure this is going to be a very entertaining game. Then CBC Boksburg versus St. Benedict's. That's going to be a good game. And then Lichtenburg versus Klerksdorp. And then this is our features match for this weekend where we are going to be. Rand Park,
Yes.
Northcliffe. We are going to be there from the morning until the last game. The first team will play at 11:15. So please come and join us. We will be there. We will be wearing our new kit. So,
Yeah, if I can say something, this is now we come to the kit. If you look at this kit, this is the kit that our crew will be wearing at the game. In front,
yes,
we've got Louis' name, promoting also the company, his entrepreneur, he's a teacher.
yes.
Louis, maybe if you can turn around and just show the schoolboy emblem at the back of your
Okay,
shirt.
hold on. Let me do this.
Sorry, his four-legged child was on his lap.
So, I don't know if
Right.
you can see that.
Yes, yeah, now we can see that. If you briefly can see, there's the emblem, the Schoolboy Rugby emblem. That is the emblem at the back of our shirt, that represent our Schoolboy Rugby. Thank you, Louis. Absolutely. So you will be able to identify the crew with, according to the uniform that they're wearing, the emblem in front, the name, and then of course the back, the Schoolboy Rugby emblem. Of course, unfortunately, I won't be able to be there. Business duties, my other entrepreneurs' duties, unfortunately, have called me. But Louis will be there. Next, alongside him will be our legendary scout, Mr. Vaughan, also one of our presenters.
Yeah.
And then, of course, our cameraman, Matt Bryan.
Yes.
Huge possibility that he also might be there. So you will still have the best possible coverage of the day possible, where the best of the best will be there to cover the game. So please look out. We will have live recordings available on our Facebook group, and then later on it will be available on our YouTube channel. Anything from match previews to interviews with the coaches, players, maybe even spectators. Even if there was a four-legged dog walking around, he might also be available for an interview. But it's going to be a cracking day, so please come. If you're in the area, please come and say hello to us. Give us a high five, come have a chat with us. Who knows? We might even be able to interview this on the live recordings as one of our faithful members. And then, of course, I would also like, as I promised, I would also like to give a shout out to one of the first team players, Matthew Banda, that plays for Northcliffe High. I'm not sure if he's playing this Saturday, but a huge shout out to Matthew Banda and his mom. That's also one of our members on the Global School Rugby Bonanza group, Carolyn Banda. Right. So what's next, Louis? Do we have the rankings available?
Unfortunately, I couldn't get hold of the rankings. That was not available when we did the production of this. So, but we will keep the people posted, and we will surely have the rankings next week or next episode. Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Let's move on. This, of course, then concludes our episode for today.
Yes.
Once again, we would like to give a huge shout out. We have reached the 1,000 members mark on our Facebook group. We are officially over 1,000 members. It's absolutely incredible. We're not even a year old, and we already have 1,000 members.
Yeah.
I would like to say thank you so much for you, for the community, for your support. Without your support and your rallying behind us, there's no ways we will be able to bring this top class coverage for you, and we will be able to promote Schoolboy Rugby. We need your support, so thank you so much.
Yeah.
Of course, if you haven't joined our group yet, we are listed under Global School Rugby Bonanza on the Facebook group. It's an open group, so please come join us. We also have a YouTube channel, Global School Rugby Bonanza, that's available on YouTube. And then we also on various other platforms. We're on TikTok, as well as Instagram, as well as a WhatsApp channel, but it's under Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza. We're still under the name Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza, but we're also available on those platforms. We also have an online magazine that Louis and his wife and Arno with us are in charge of, where we also bring out every single month. If you want the link, just go to our Facebook group and you will see in the featured section, it's pinned, our link, as well as the previous editions of the magazine. is also available. And then, of course, if you've missed out on any of our episodes, I can't believe it. I think we actually now at episode 23, but our previous 22 episodes are all available on our Facebook group as well as our YouTube channel.
Yeah,
it is amazing. Schoolboy Rugby is alive and well, and Global School Rugby Bonanza and Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza Chatshow is alive and well, and we are not going anywhere. We are here to stay and to keep on promoting the best of schoolboy rugby, not only in South Africa, but also outside South Africa. We had some nice posts about Brazil, schoolboy rugby in Brazil.
Yes.
Recently. A while back, we had some nice posts about schoolboy rugby and schoolgirl rugby in Kenya. And then we also have regular updates on Irish schoolboy rugby and schoolboy rugby in Ireland. So schoolboy rugby around the world is growing, it's going strong, and it's alive. Huge shout out, of course, to our team, our crew. First of all, Louis, it's always ladies first. Louis' beloved wife, Sarah, that is helping us with the magazine. Without her input, I don't know where the magazine would be. It's absolutely amazing. So a huge shout out to Sarah from Copenhagen. Then, of course, also our leaders on the group. I would like to give a shout out to our legendary journalist, Anu Boertes, heavily involved in our magazine, as well as the interviews. Of course, then also our fellow leader, Elaine Hogan. Now, there might be a surprise later on. She's going to become more involved in the development also. She's an incredible, huge help for us, for our show, our podcast. The info that she gives us, her knowledge on rugby, incredibly extensive. And she's a huge help on our group also, as one of the leaders on our Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza group on Facebook. So thank you so much, as well as promoting Schoolboy Rugby in Ireland and helping us with various projects that we are going to be in. But that will be later. We'll talk about the other project.
Yes.
Of course, then we would like to say a huge thank you to also one of our moderators, one of our leaders, the moderators on the Facebook group, and our cameraman man, the legendary Brian Dudley. And then, of course, to our scout, Mr. Von, that's also going to be at the Rand Park versus Northcliffe game. He's going to be present there.
Yes.
And then, of course, to all of our members, thank you so much for your help, your support. It means a hell of a lot for us. Without you, we have no show. And then lastly, but not least, our founder, Louis. Thank you so much once again for a super packed show.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. This was super. It's always fun to be here. It's and just to talk schoolboy rugby. This is what we do, and who we are.
Absolutely, absolutely. This concludes the episode. Enjoy the rugby. There's a packed weekend ahead of us of schoolboy rugby, more other rugby also, of course, but the most important, schoolboy rugby, the future of rugby. So enjoy it. And then from our side, it's goodbye until next time.